everyone, it's Diabetic Danica. Welcome back to my channel. So today something kind of weird happened. I was on it. I was waiting in line at Starbucks and I was thinking, okay, this is what I ordered. This is what I'm gonna eat and drink when I get home with my Starbucks. I'm gonna dose my insulin now for it because it takes about 10 to 15 minutes for the insulin to start working. So I was doing really good, pre-dosing, all that good stuff. So I dose for it. It's Sunday. I happen to be in my pajamas in the drive-thru at Starbucks, and my finger just happens to brush against where my infusion set is, and it feels wet. And I look down and I can see this little drop of wetness on my pajama pants where my infusion set is. And I'm like, cool, it's leaking. And I believe I was due to change my infusion set today anyway, but now I really had to change it because it was leaking. So I got my food and my drink and I drove home and I changed it. But then I had the glorious task of trying to figure out how much insulin do I dose for now? Because I think I dosed for like 70 grams of carb. So I had to try to decide like how much of the insulin do I think probably got into my body? How much do I think probably is just on my pajama pants? And I decided to just dose for half the grams of carbs. I think I dosed for like 40 grams of carbs on top of what I'd already dosed. And it felt really weird doing this because I had no idea how much insulin was in my system. I was like, well, I don't want to dose nothing because I know that I got a lot of my insulin not delivered. I know a lot of it is just on my pant legs, but I also don't want to dose way too much and end up super low. So I stuck with half and it kind of worked out. I think I went, what happened? Oh, I went up above my high line just a little bit and then I came back down and I was steady in range. And then I went up later. I don't know which was from what necessarily. And then I went on this walk and there's all these other factors. But anyway, it got me thinking how much of diabetes is just full on guessing. Educated guessing, don't get me wrong, you're using a lot of knowledge that you already have and all your knowledge of the different factors affecting your blood sugar to make an educated guess, but it's still at the end of the day, a guess. Dosing for 40 grams of carbs could have been way underdosing. If I didn't get any of that first bolus dose, I would be way underdosing. Or if I got way more of that first dose than I thought, I could be way overdosing on my insulin and end up with a low. So there was just no way for me to know for sure and I just had to guess. And I feel like this kind of happens with a lot of stuff in diabetes. Like I work with patients with diabetes and when I suggest to them to set a temporary basal rate for exercise to have less insulin or for like an illness, an increased temporary basal rate, they'll ask me how much to set it for. And I can give them a start point, but it really is just testing and guessing. You're trying something out that's safe and then tweaking it here or there, up or down based on your blood sugars. And it's hard to advise people to do that because it's kind of taking it into your own hands and seeing what works. But I feel like so much of diabetes is that. Or like if you've ever thrown up food that you've already given insulin for, how many of you guys have had to think about how much you threw up and you're like, well, how many carbs did I actually eat and how many carbs do I still need to match that insulin? Like it's a complete guess. Sometimes it's a complete guess how my exercise is gonna affect me, like how intense is it gonna be? How much insulin on board do I have? And sometimes it's just hard to not feel like diabetes is a huge guessing game. You're just looking at the factors that you know, going off of your past experiences and doing the best you can. And that's why I think sometimes it can be hard because we get high and low blood sugars and we're like, I tried, but there's just so many factors that are affecting it. And so I think that's why it's important to keep consistent what you can. So as much as you can, like making sure you're injecting your insulin into a good site on your body that's not, riddled with scar tissue, or making sure you're changing your infusion sets for your pump on time. Looking up the carb counts if you can, like if you can get an accurate carb count, that can help. Making sure your insulin is stored in a good temperature range and not getting too hot or cold, like little things you can control so that it's one less variable to throw in the mix. If you're able to keep your schedule a little consistent in terms of what you eat, that can help, but obviously life isn't always like that. But I think it also just shows me the importance of checking blood sugar frequently too. Like if I didn't have my continuous glucose monitor to look at my blood sugar and see what it's doing, see where the trend arrow is going, it's checking it every 5 minutes for me. Like if I didn't have that, it'd be a lot harder to make educated guesses. And so by testing blood sugar frequently, either with a finger stick or on my CGM, I think that just really, really helps you stay on top of things and tweak things as you go in terms of like temporary basal rates, carb intake, looking at how different things are affecting your blood sugar. If you don't see your blood sugars, you don't know how they're being affected. So I think testing blood sugar frequently is just so important in diabetes. And overall, it just shows me the importance of paying attention. Like, pay attention to your blood sugars. Look at what things are affecting it. Look at how you react after certain types of exercise, after certain adjustments in your insulin, after certain amounts of carbs, things that you're doing that affect your blood sugar. You're gonna be the person that knows your diabetes best because everyone is different. And so looking at what your blood sugar does in response to things that you're doing will help you make better decisions in the future. So anyway, just something I was thinking about. So yeah, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I make new videos about diabetes consistently. And leave a comment down below if you have any thoughts about this. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.